202 people died, and the misery inflicted on all those families is immense. And I feel a very massive sense of guilt.
Hi, I'm Michael Madden. Welcome to this very special episode of the Victoria Cross sequence. This is the Cross of Valour. This is the highest award this nation can bestow on one of its civilians. The Cross of Valour was introduced in the 1970s to replace the legendary George Cross. George Cross was held in such high reverence that the entire island of Malta was awarded just one after World War II to represent the bravery of all that island's people. The Cross of Valour is equal to the George Cross in every way. In fact, it is on par with the Victoria Cross. There are only 3 Level 1 awards: the Victoria Cross, the George Cross, which Australians are no longer eligible to receive, and the Cross of Valour. A few days ago, I had the remarkable privilege of sitting down with 4 of the only 5 men who have ever been awarded this medal. These 5 men have formed an association. They are a very tight-knit group, and they do a lot of heavy lifting when it comes to bringing awareness to PTSD, heavy lifting which would be made much, much easier if their stories and the story of the Cross of Valour were better known. Despite the incredible importance of this award, very few Australians even know it exists. So take a few moments, sit down and listen to what these men have to say. I'll give you 4 of the 5 bravest civilians in this country.
And so this is part of our drama. Part of our drama, for instance, I was sitting at work and I got a telephone call from a bloke I'd never met before. He was a bloke in Queensland running a metal shop, Sam Alfred. And he rang up solely because he just wanted to ring me and speak to me and congratulate me on being awarded the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal. And we hadn't been told about it, we hadn't heard about it or anything. So I rang Al and said, "Have you heard anything about it?" He goes, "No." Rang these blokes, "No, haven't heard anything." So we kept on thinking, what's going on here? So we contacted a few people. In the end, it was decided that the VCs, those who could, the GC and all the VCs that were entitled to it, got flown first class to London and they got awarded it by Prince Charles. And we were told ours would be in the mail.
We were directed to a website which showed that we were to be awarded a medal we knew nothing about.
Yeah.
Because our philosophy is that your medal doesn't indicate your level of personal bravery. It's more the circumstances of what took place is relating to the award itself. So that we are people who received a group citation for bravery or a commendation for brave conduct to feel as though that they're any less brave than somebody who's across the valley. So that's part of we want everybody to feel very proud of what they've done and the awards that they've received, and to, in doing so, just promote what Aussies do for Aussies.
And before the medal was awarded, did any of you know what the Cross of Valour was? Who here heard it? None of us.
No. We now know that each year goes past and no further Cross of Valours are awarded, the award becomes more and more rare and exponentially more significant. So for somebody to be nominated that they're going to receive a Cross of Valour means it's an extremely significant award that I think the fact that now we have this association formed and all of us know each other far more than we ever did before, we're all conscious of the impact the action has caused in our lives. We're all very respectful of that, but we're also mindful of the fact that the award has been, we get the opportunity to spend some time together, which we treasure. It's just a very rare time to be together. We treasure the opportunity just to be with each other. And we don't talk about what happened. I think we talk more about the future than the past. 90% about the future. What are we going to do next? What events are we going to go to? How are we going to support this, or how are we going to help this group out? Whatever. So it's really a positive experience. But for us last night to be inducted as Great Australians, that was, I think, probably the greatest recognition that we have received in recent times.
How often do you wear your medals, much?
I go to most of the investitures over in Perth, and
Yeah, look, I mean, I can only get back once or twice a year. I wasn't going to miss what went on last night because it was such an amazing opportunity. So, you know, these guys get to go to more stuff than I do, and I will. But that said, like Al said, you know, it's just like catching up with old friends when we get back together. So it's.
Do you pin the medal on hands like that?
Do I?
Yeah, or
In Vancouver? I don't. But I will.
You will?
Yeah. I go to the Anzac service there.
Yeah. What about the rest of you? Do you guys get many?
Yeah, I go to the coming here for a Queen's birthday and investiture with these guys for 6-8 times a year at least.
Even last night as an example, sorry, Captain, last night as an example, even after the dinner last night, people were coming up to me saying, "Oh, congratulations on your military work." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Your military cross there." I'm like, "Where have you been?" Sort of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people automatically go straight to the military because that's all they've ever known about when they see a medal.
We had a former Prime Minister introduce us to heads of defence.
that's right.
As Star of Valour recipients.
Is that right?
That raised some eyebrows.
Can I say that?
No, that's well, that just shows if a Prime Minister can't get it right, then the Australian public can be forgiven for not knowing anything about it.
That's it.
There's been a little bit of publicity about it in the last few years, but there's still a plus on them people that just got no idea what it is.
But it is getting better. The Royal Australian Mint had an exhibition, the Valour, Courage and Bravery exhibition, and they had Darrell's medal, the original medal, and his citation, and some other memorabilia there on display, plus Star of Courage, plus Bravery medal, plus Commendation of Brave Conduct.
Yeah, Luke's with all the blowouts and too, didn't it?
So it wasn't a big display, but 250,000 people saw that display. And the level of interest that the Mint explained that was generated by that was just extraordinary. So there is potential if we are able to develop a museum, for want of a better word, related to Australia, all Australian honours and awards, then I believe that we will be in a very powerful position to educate the Australian population about Australian honours awards, including the Australian Bravery Decorations.
You know, they always say surround yourself with the best people that you can, and we pretty much have. And I mean, we've got Clive sort of like, as you guys know, we trust him to go and negotiate or, you know, whatever on our behalf, and it's just, it represents, and that's a big thing. And so, you know,
Dane Quinton and Michael Bryce are very proud of their patronage of us, and very, very keen to participate in events that we're going to attend if they can. And Ray Martin is one of our vice patrons.
Is he?
Richard Robb from Canberra's our vice patron. He's on the Australia Day, National Australia Day Council Committee. And probably one of the most philanthropic people in Canberra.
And so, what about George's paintings that he likes? Is George
you still want to
they're all great. Brilliant.
That particular one, the black and white one in police uniform, that means a lot to me. Like my department is a huge part of my life, and it's and he did it, and he did it in George's, like the splash paint everywhere. But the one thing I asked for, I said, don't worry about my face, mate, do whatever you want with that, but just let my badge be known. I want people to look at it and be able to see that it's WA Police. And he kept it just exactly the way I wanted it. And then it runner-up to People's Choice. So, mate, you can't argue with that, can you?
Okay, fantastic.
Did you run up in?
Something you'd never expect to have in our life. something that's going to be there forever, really.
Yeah, I was blown away to be immortalised that way. And my first reaction was, Jesus, big, I didn't realise that. Because I wasn't able to attend the opening function with these guys in Sydney. So I saw it for the first time actually when I came over in May this year. But I was amazed at how it was like almost like a photograph, the way the actual incredible. Yeah.
Well, the first thing I found out, I got a letter in the mail from the Medals and Awards system saying, will I accept this Cross of Valour Association for saving a boy? I had no idea. This is 28 years ago. I had no idea what it was, so I'll sign it, I suppose, and send it back and see what happens. Next thing I got a letter in the mail saying, yeah, we're invited to Government House in Canberra to be aboard the Cross of Valour. I went on there, they flew us over, the whole family, and flew us to Canberra, Government House. Bill Hayden presented the Cross of Valour to me. And we were taken around to Government House for dinner and flown back home. And that was it for me, I just went back to work.
Did it change anything for you?
Oh, the people write up in the paper about it.
Yeah. What about with your career and work and family? Did it have any impact
Yeah,
around yourself?
I was pretty badly injured at the accident at the time. Because we didn't really understand the significance of it at the time. Being the first one, nobody knew about it.
So how do you think now, so 28 years ago, has it, do you think that the aura around has changed a bit?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially now, everybody's helped with the Cross of Valour Association and got us all together, and we're a fantastic group and support one another, and it's been fantastic. Beautiful.
Yeah, I've got a big, refresh my memory. I got a letter in the mail before that happened. There was some rumblings. It was funny, I was back in Tasmania at the time actually. I was living in Perth when everything went down, but at the time I was travelling back to Tasmania, and a local politician said something to my mother actually. And it was sort of just a rumour, and I didn't think much of it. And then the letter arrived, and then it was like, wow, this is a pretty big deal. And I didn't know anything about it, so I think I googled it straight away. Did some reading about it, and then next thing I know, I found myself at Government House with probably Tim and our respective families, and it was a wonderful ceremony and a great celebration, I guess, while we were there. It was still difficult because you still you can never sort of forget the people that you lost. That's always attached to that event. And then afterwards, things kind of things went a little bit crazy as far as the media went. And I went back to work because I knew that I suffered from PTSD for quite a while. Took a lot of time off work, and then I knew it was time to go back to work. I had to distract myself or just bury myself in some work just to sort of get back to normality a little bit. And so I did that. I went back to Perth and went back into basically the middle of nowhere, sort of in isolation. And then the next thing I know, they were flying photographers out. But that was actually beforehand. I apologise, that was beforehand. It's changed my life. It's definitely split my life. Sort of, I always talk about pre-Cross of Valour and post-Cross of Valour. I look at life a lot differently now. It's opened up a lot of wonderful opportunities for us to do something really good. And I said to the guys from the beginning, when we first got together in 2012, I said, look, I want to do this, but I only want to be part of something that's going to give back. It's one thing to sit there and receive a medal and an annuity, and receive all these pats on the back, but to me, the most important thing that we do as a group is how can we contribute to making people's lives better. And that's what I'm probably most proud about, what we've been able to achieve in the last 3 or 4 years.
Of
Alright.
because we're the same. We're the same.
Yeah.
Citation really, but yeah, like it got to a point where it was really annoying, and in actual fact, at one point we were liaising with each other. Richard said to me, mate, Four Corners are doing a story, they want us over there. I said, no, I'm not doing it. He goes, I am, because but I want to honour my mate who, who died, and we were just sick of it. So for me, the question you asked, Rich, did I know anything about it? No, I did. I was at work. My wife at the time, she rang me and said, "You've got an official letter here." And I said, "What was it saying?" So she opened it up and she goes, something about this medal. And we didn't even have the internet then, because this is like, what year was it? 2000. Yeah, we just, internet wasn't what it is now, and everyone doesn't have it in their house. So I rang my mate who does have it, and I said, mate, can you have a look at this for me? And he goes, oh yeah, no worries. And he rang me back and he goes, mate, you better come over here and have a look at this. And so I went over and had a look, and I said, what do you reckon about that? And he goes, looks pretty big, man. And that was it. But that's the first time I knew anything about it.
I saw a number of things that happened with my work. I got very ill psychologically. There's a lot of bad things happened. So it wasn't a matter of celebration. It's like, for me, it was like, well, this sort of puts it in perspective as to the consequence of what took place. But I don't know, I was phenomenally proud of it. It did go to a bit of healing between myself and my parents, because when I got ill, they just couldn't manage that, so we became disassociated for a long time. So having the ceremony was a good thing. So by that stage I've been kicked out of the cops, being psychologically unfit. So I guess for me it's like, well, as far as the police are concerned, I was the first police officer ever to receive the award, and I thought, well, if I get this award, why would they kick me out of the cops? I would not to be in the cops. So there's a lot of emotion attached to it, both positive and negative. But it was a very, very proud moment to receive it.
Who gave you yours?
Sir William Dean.
Right.
And we had a lovely evening, and Deb and I felt very privileged to be guests of honour there. And that formed a nice relationship with Sir William and Lady Dean, which we used for good purposes in later years, when he was very happy to become involved in fundraising events that I was involved with. A promoter of mine who has snapped his neck playing footy. So yeah, a lot of good things happened out of it.
And what about with your career in the police force? Is it made
Mate, the first time I met the commissioner was 10 years later. 10 years
one
later.
of his members' CVs?
Yeah, and as far as and it's not as far as I know, it is the only level 1 award WA Police has ever been issued. They never had an Albert Medal, they've never had an Empire Medal, they've never had a George Cross. This is it. And so.
What about your colleagues?
My colleagues are great. Yeah. That's like looking at the photos of my wife and their grandson, or that sort of thing. Because it's the fun stuff. Yeah. People just go, man, I can't believe you get to do that, and I can't believe we get to do it. And part of my thing, like what Rich was saying, like we get these wonderful things, and I sit back and I battle with this whole I suppose 202 people died, and the misery inflicted on all those families is immense. And I feel a very massive sense of guilt in receiving invites to beautiful things and enjoying myself and being, I don't even know how to explain it.
Like you just did.
I think sometimes, I don't want to interrupt him, but you have to remind yourself when you're at these events why you're here, and how you got here.
That's it.
And it's easy sometimes to get caught up in the fun of it all. And so I find, I think Tim probably does, and we probably all do a little bit. You feel guilty sometimes when you let your guard down, and whether that's right or not, I don't know, but it's just the way it is. And I find that I have to sort of consciously sort of remind myself that this is great, but I'll never forget the rest.
Yeah, but whatever we do, we're very conscious, aren't we, mate? That we're not the face of,
Yeah.
like we represent the families as well. So it's hard. I've said this a couple of times to different photographers and presenters and stuff. It's hard for me because it wasn't an overwhelming successful operation for us. So when you're taking my photo, I can't smile in that photo. I've got to be careful how I don't know how to be, because it represents so much sorrow for so many people. So it's a very difficult thing for me. And when I'm getting my photo taken or people are talking to me, I'm very mindful of being overwhelmingly respectful of what I say and how I hold myself. Because even the way I hold my face, there's people out there that, like, mate, we're only, what is the date now? 16. So 4 days ago in Australia, or in Western Australia 4 days ago, in our time zone, that's when the 14th anniversary was. And as a result of that, you can go up to Kings Park, and the Kings Park Memorial lines up perfectly as the sun comes up. The sun shines straight through the centre of the memorial and it lights up all the names of the people who were killed. And you can go there 14 years after the event, and there'll be people just immersed in grief, bawling their eyes out. And so I do that. I go there and I just stand there and I watch, and it just reminds me of why I need to be so careful in what I do, because these people are still really, really suffering.
You've all met the Queen?
No.
No, this isn't the Queen.
No.
Okay. George Cross.
We don't know.
You say nothing. You don't know.
Oh, look, I think that's, again, if they're going to issue awards, I mean, factually, the Cross of Valour is the highest civil award in Australia. So there's only 5 guys. I think there's some significance attached to that. So if that's a situation, why isn't it utilised in proper protocol? I just don't know why that is. But I think that times are changing. Once before, that certainly the New South Wales Police Force placed no recognition across the Valour whatsoever. And then that changed. They included my award in their Hall of Walk of Valour, and on in their bravery walk and things down at the police academy. There's now a lot of recognition given to the award, and I think the New South Wales Police Force is very proud now of the award. So I do a lot of work with the New South Wales Police in relation to their psychological wellbeing. I get invited to a lot of events because of my award. The award has been allowed me to do a lot of promotion for the fact that people can recover from PTSD. So a lot of really good things have occurred from it.
With the young fella, what's happened to him?
He suffered chronic PTSD, became very violent, very destructive, ended up in boys' homes, adult jail, met about his mum 9 years ago to his wedding. Never has. Deb and I went to his wedding last year.
Oh, that would have been
A
fantastic.
very special moment. Yeah, it really was. Yeah, it was great. So we're on social media connection together. Still very close to his mum. She told me at the wedding that she says a prayer of thanks every day for the fact his life was saved by Gavin and Michael and himself and the other guys. So yeah, it's very special. No, look, I think it's very important that, as Richard alluded to, we do whatever we can to help other Australians as a result of the profile that Cross of Valour has. And the increase in profile that we believe is necessary is not for our own personal gain. It is to allow us to continue to expand the work we do to help other Australians.
You just summed up everything I wanted to say throughout the whole interview. It's what you guys are really once upon a time, you now have an opportunity and you do so much good for so many people. You do it off your own love, your own heart, your own dollar, and you make a difference.
And that's what the courage is about, caring for somebody. It's not because you're brave. Courage is about the fact that these guys were prepared to die to save the lives of other Australians. That's the reality of it. They have these, and I say it all the time, they have an infinite capacity to care for another human being, but they were prepared to die. And they continue to show that because of their willingness to help others Australians.
I mean, even, just last year, well, I think it was just last year, but, the big fella here, he's closing in on, what are you now, how old are you?
58.
So nearly 60, jumps down on a railway track, drags some bloke off it just as the train's come and picks up another bravery or another accommodation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and between us, I think we're vice patrons of 5 organisations, and I think we've got about 10 ambassadorships between us, and they're not just dormant. They're things we actively go out and do. All of us were there at, do Lifeline or do this or that. Al's just become an ambassador for the Kookaburra Foundation. There's a heap of things going on, and people are constantly looking at new ways of giving back, and that's a big thing.
With your experience of all this, and obviously with 28 years living with this, is giving people these awards, the Victoria Cross, the George Cross, the Cross of Valour, is it a good thing to do? Is it a mistake?
I think so, yeah. Give them some recognition for what they've done.
Yeah,
Otherwise, if you don't get any recognition for going out and saving people, somebody can say, why bother?
And Al in particular, like he's heavily involved in the mental health issues in Australia, like through Lifeline and Beyond Blue and Kookaburra, all these sorts of things. Go ahead, find someone, mate. If your car's buggered, you take it to a mechanic. But if your mind's buggered, for men in particular, we don't do anything about it. We try and avoid going to a doctor because we're too tough for it. And afterwards, I had a couple of young constables come up to me and say, "Thanks heaps for that. I'm going to go and do it." And but he has effect on people all the time. That's why New South Wales Police, 20 years after he retired, still dragging him back because he's got that good effect. And we've been given a voice that we otherwise wouldn't have had. And that's the most important thing, that people now, when they ask you to talk, they listen. And if we're willing to speak honestly and openly about some of the dramas we've been through, but it has a difference.
And I think that's, awards are important if that award allows a positive response to be gained from it. Not for the self-promotion of a person, but for the fact that lived experience can be utilised for continuous positive reasons thereafter.
And we've got to be clear that you guys, recipients of this award, don't receive any special support for your own PTSD or anything from any organisations outside.
Like for Darryl was 28 years ago, Richo and Tim was 14 years ago, mine was 18 years ago, what it was.
Yeah.
The mental health environment was completely different back then.
Yeah.
I received clinical care, but the treatment processes, the understanding, the knowledge about PTSD was completely different. And fortunately, so there's a lot of positive changes to be made in relation to that. And I think that what we try and do is promote stories of recovery and the building resilience. And especially in first responders field, the necessity for a proactive approach to good mental wellness. That's really important.
There's a slow shift in culture. It's been a cultural thing where, as Tim said, men don't cry. It's not the way we were raised. I think actually, even being Australian, you were kind of raised, to suck it up, get on with it, deal with it, or move on from it. Don't dwell on it. But the one thing I always said to myself after this happened was, if I'm going to get through this, I need to be able to talk about it. And I said to myself, whenever anybody came to me and asked me about it, I'd be willing to tell them what they want, talk to them about it.
Is that hard?
Yeah, very hard. Because I didn't want to, but I knew it was the right thing to do. And I think above anything else, for me personally, that actually helped get me through. And people initially didn't quite know how to ask you stuff because they wanted to be sensitive as well. But I sort of say, look, you know, if you want to ask me what happened, I'll tell you what happened, because it's helpful to me too. So that was one thing I sort of feel like I did right, and it seemed to help me.
Getting back to the question before, what advice would you give to someone who was in life for this award? That'd be advice, not just for this award, but anyone who's been through a trauma.
For sure.
It's very good advice.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, and you know, you're allowed to cry, you're allowed to feel emotion. It's a good thing, you know. It's the people that push it down and don't confront it, that's where you get into trouble.
Yeah.
That's my belief, so. Yeah.
All right. I think we've really, thank you so much for this.
Thanks to you guys for being prepared to listen to our point of view, and hopefully there's something really positive can come out of this.
Oh, we will.
A lot of people about